So here's the thing: is we started the studio up. We released Curiosity. The other sort of thing that I was fascinated with was this whole culture of Kickstarter. Now, I presume everyone in the world, and has anyone not heard of Kickstarter in the room? Right, that's my expectation. Is Kickstarter, and could you use Kickstarter to help create or recreate a genre of game which I was lucky enough to be involved with in the early days of me being in the industry, were called good games. And that's what we did. We went out to Kickstarter and we asked people if they were interested enough to pledge to our Kickstarter campaign to enable us to reinvent the God game genre. And I feel that the God game genre embodies everything that free-to-play is.
Right.
You know, it was almost, the God game genre was invented for free-to-play, you know, 20, 25 years ago. It works so beautifully for, you know, what free-to-play represents. And we asked the world that we're going to be doing a PC version, we're going to be doing a mobile version, and, you know, if you're interested in seeing how it's developed and, you know, watching the development of it and be involved in playing the alpha version and playing the beta version, people pledge? People did pledge. We achieved, you know, 120% of our what we asked for, which was an incredible thing. And we've been, ever since then, we've been developing Godus, and it is, and of course I'm going to say this, but it is already a fantastic, amazing, incredible game, and free-to-play makes it even more fantastic, amazing, and incredible, especially on mobile.
So how does the free-to-play work in Godus? Is it a fairly traditional IAP system?
So we've got two problems here. The two problems that we've got is, one of the problems is that we're making the game for PC, Linux and Mac, and where free-to-play isn't quite so, doesn't make quite so much sense, because people tend to put money down on the table and then they get the game. And we're also making it for mobile, which we absolutely love. I love the touch mechanic. I mean, Godus is a game about being a god, and, you know, being able to touch the world that you're involved in is fantastic and incredible. So we've got those two versions. So what I'm going to say now applies to the mobile version far more than it applies to the PC version. And gosh, this is going to turn into a game design session if I'm not careful. So the way that we've decided to structure it is that you have this thing called Homeworld. And in Homeworld, you can manipulate the landscape, you can change and sculpt the land in a incredibly charming, amazingly interactive, quite creative way. And the little people in this homeworld will react to what you're doing, and they'll settle the land. You can be unbelievably nurturing to them and kind to them, and they'll, or you can be a little bit nasty and cruel to them. And slowly, the population of your people through your actions will get bigger and bigger and bigger. And as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, so you will unlock more and more godly powers.
Right.
That you can recognize as free to play. As you start off with something very, very, very simple. You set in the player's mind there is an objective over here, you know, to head for. It may be the, you know, super godly powers that you hope to get, and you stretch that out a long way. That's Homeworld. At any time in Homeworld, you can take some of your people out of Homeworld, and you can start battling in a very simple multiplayer game. And that being able to take your little people, play in a multiplayer game. If you win, you get more people, they come back into your world, those more people unlock more stuff. So you've got that loop.
Right.
You've got the loop about people, and you've also got the loop about something called belief, which I won't go into, I'll be here for ages. So you've got that loop there. Homeworld is a safe place. I hate in free-to-play, this is a personal thing, I hate big fail conditions.
Right.
I hate the idea that whether I'm farming or whether it's a city or whatever, I go away and I come back and everything's destroyed. That's just a reason for me to stop playing.
Yeah.
And I think there's a balance which you get to where there should be some penalties, obviously, for you not doing something right, but there's penalties that they're too harsh, is another reason to stop playing. So I love in Homeworld there's not too many fail conditions. The fail conditions are contained within the multiplayer when you're there.
Right, okay. And
did that make sense?
Yeah, it certainly did. I mean, it sounds, I was a Amiga gamer, Populace. It sounds, the spiritual successor to Populace is there, but Curiosity seems to have had quite an influence on it.
Curiosity is where the sculpting is.
Yeah.
There's definitely Populace and the people. There is definitely Dungeon Keeper. There's some fantastic. We haven't told the world yet about which I'm going to tell you. It's about excavating. Oh, excavating is lovely.
Right.
Is that when you are sculpting the land?
Yeah.
I shouldn't really. Why do I do these? You see,
no one's recording. No one's taking notes. Sure. There's no cameras.
When you're sculpting the land, what we realised was, and this is all to do with free to play, is you need something to. After a while, in a lot of free to play games, there's this terrible moment that consumers get to, and I'm one of those consumers. Is when you say, why am I doing this? Why am I doing it? Why am I planting crops? Why am I building buildings? Why am I sculpting the land? And that's the point where at that point, you've got to subtly show people there's a reason why. People have to discover their own objectives. And that's where, in Godus, we have this idea of excavating. So you're sculpting the land, and suddenly, and I'll give you an example, this probably won't be in the game. In fact, I'm going to make this example specific to you so it's not right. So you're sculpting away, and suddenly you see, well, there's a bit of the terrain that looks a bit different. It looks a bit different to other bits, and you sculpt round it, and you realise that there's like a nose protruding from the land. You keep on sculpting, and you keep on pushing the land around. And there's this face, and it's a huge, massive statue of you buried inside this hill.
Yeah.
That gives you a reason to carry on sculpting. It's not just about servicing the needs of your little people. It's about discovering things. It's about excavating things, and we all love archaeology and excavating and finding out.
Right.
It's that sort of.
There's not going to be a mystery buried inside the statue. In a box.
There could be.
Okay.
There could be another whole statue, a mystery inside there.